Welcome back, MTG Joe here. Today we're going to be taking our first foray into March of the Machine Aftermath. So this is kind of, the best way to put it, a DLC in paper of about 50 additional cards that are injected. They're standard legal as well as extended formats. I have yet to play a single game. I've been sick. So I haven't. I've opened the 3 free packs that should be in your mailbox plus 2 others. I haven't really experimented with any of the cards. I don't own most of the cards right now, so I just want to kind of get some games in, see what is around, and then we'll kind of brew from there. I largely think a lot of the cards are EDH fodder, and that they're not super meaningful. A lot of them seem very heavily build-around dependent. But we're going to try it out, and I want to go with the least investment first, and that's just using a single uncommon wild card, to be exact, for Coppercoat Vanguard for today's video. So Coppercoat Vanguard is a 2-mana 2/2 human soldier that gives your other humans +1/0 and ward. So we're going to try this out. I saw this list off Twitter from The Folk, and this is a human tribal list. Now, it may be better served to be a soldier's list. We'll wait and see, but this gives us notably a buff to our creatures, as well as give them some kind of just slight tax. Play that up with Thalia, has some added advantage. The only change I made from the list was they were on for Adeline. I want to try out Archangel Elspeth in this particular list as well, see how it plays out. Just kind of a board wipe insurance, as well as pressure for sweepers. But the core of the deck, humans, very similar to the Explorer or Pioneer version. Hopeful Initiate, Recruitment Officer as your 1-drops. You have Thalia for tax. Guardian of New Benalia. I generally don't love this card, so this is something I want to try out if I want to do this or play the Intrepid Adversary instead. I think sometimes just the life link is also relevant in these games, so want to see how the games go. I might actually, you know what, let's do a 2-2 split. I want to see how both of these play out. I think this has more advantage. The big thing here with it is when to discard stuff, we don't really get value out of it. We don't have ways to get things back from the graveyard. The other thing I was considering was playing Recruitment Office, or not Recruitment, Extraction Specialist. Then it plays a little bit better with the Guardian of Benalia. But we'll do a split for now, see how it plays out. But basically lots of humans, Brutal Cathars, Anointed Peacekeeper, so it's kind of your taxing elements, lay down arms as removal, so 19 planes, some Mishra's Foundries, and an Agonjo. So, and then some Skrells. Honorary Human, protection spell. It's Mother of Runes at home. It's Phyrexian Mother of Runes. But we'll give this a go, see how it plays out. Like I said, I really have not been playing much between work and being sick. I have not really played, so we'll give it a shot, see how it goes. The deck that I'm also really interested, we just did a video the other day. I'm like 21-5 with green-white enchantments pre-Aftermath, and the new Calyx seems interesting, something I want to try out maybe in the deck as well, but I didn't want to do concurrent videos, so I'll probably try that out, see how it goes, and then report back on it. So fortunately, this hand is 1 land. Now we can take a chance, but we're really not doing much, so we'll keep this. I think given the composition of our hand, it's very interesting because I do think we put Elspeth back. It's kind of funny that both hands had opening Elspeth or one of. So we see basic planes. This could be mono, like another aggressive deck. So this is the mid-range deck. So we're going to look to go with the tax effect here, I think. Go Thalia here. Don't necessarily want to throw the Recruitment Officer away for this ambitious farmhand, so we'll use Brutal Cathar on it. So we do have Ossification come down. So this deck's going to have upwards of 8 removal spells plus the Wandering Emperor, so all things we need to be mindful of. So would have liked to hit a land there. If they're on the Paragon version, they're likely not on sweepers. Now, while they might have Sunfall, don't think necessarily. 'Cause, 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 'c Second ossification, kind of annoying. This is what I don't love about these decks. We're kind of all committed in, but now I really, like, I need my laydown arms. We've seen 2 removals, but Brutal Cathar is not true removal. Opponents also seen 3 ossifications in their top. $14 cards, so not necessarily where you want to be against the bigger deck. We weren't able to apply enough pressure early. So I think we just attack in here. Just gotta push as much damage as possible. The problem is this will also flip. So we'll see what they do here. Just push through the damage. The problem is now they get to rebuy this and it gains them life. So it's a little unfortunate there. I just don't think we can win at this point. Too much advantage. 3/4 is just massive compared to what we have going on. So I do have these hopeful initiates. We could remove counters. But with opponent having access to this many cards, we just see like no value lore in here. So we'll blow this up just because I can't have 2 3/4s. Yeah. Let's just go to the next game. They're going to win the long game. We don't kill them by like turn 4. Triple ossification's not really where we want to be against. Alright. It's important to try these things out. So if we're limited in how big we can get. So it's something to consider there. We don't have the reach. So it's always about balance. And this is what you want to try out with these strategies. Do you have enough to get in? Neither game, the difference between Guardian and Intrepid would have made a difference. But we'll try this out. We're really good at drawing our 1-of here. See how this plays out. So Deserted Beach could be control. Could be soldiers. Control. So Elspeth should be good in this matchup. Okay, so we see that come down. While this does tax, I think having it out does have some benefit because it does force them to answer it. So here we kind of force their hand. So I'm playing out Guardian here because if they have a sweeper, we can at least make this indestructible. So I think they have the Wandering Emperor. This having gained them 5 life's a little annoying. Okay, so we did hit the land. Maybe should have held that so I didn't have to get rid of Cathar. So I'm going to do this because this gives the power that can then grow the hopeful initiates. So we do want Peacekeeper. Peacekeeper's tax effect could be relevant. Even a card like Gobukan could be interesting. I don't really want to play this into a counter spell. I think we just pass. Because it's pretty bad there if they... I was hoping that they would react. Could see a sweeper here. See depopulate. Probably should have attacked first. They might have March of the Otherworldly Light.
Follow my light. This is our fight to win.
See what they do here. You really don't see much control. A nice thing here. What do I value more? The 2 power. I think taxing their hand has some benefit here. So I think this turn we just do this because I can keep pressuring them. I think we're just doing this. That takes it down to 3 with White Sun. They don't get any creatures left behind, so they could White Sun. So you gain X life, create X1 might tokens. This creature can't block. If X destroy all other creatures. Probably just do this. Keep them off the mites. Keep our Elspeth. That's all I have going for me right now. Adeline's also nice. So, force them to play out stuff here. If they do this, that means they can't play out the apparatus. So I just want to keep pressuring them here.
This is our fight to win.
Just make it so they have no value. They can White Sun here. Which they don't, which is interesting. Did I miss lethal there? I did. I'm just playing this out. If it dies from a sweeper, I can draw a card off it. I think they did miss. They had the sweeper last turn, but I can ultimate Elspeth. I don't know what they were doing, but they had a sweeper in hand. We'll take it. So Elspeth definitely carried that game. The Vanguard was fine. I did like just the continued pressure it applied. We did beat 2 sweepers, which is always nice. We obviously don't win that game, provided that they have any interaction, or like we didn't have Elspeth that game, so it might be right to go to 2. Thalia's were fine, not great. So we go first. So I think here... It's actually interesting, because like, do you lead off with your better attacker? I think we lead off with our better attacker. Because like, it's really interesting here. If we knew this was a match where Thalia would basically stonewall them, we play Thalia. But okay, so it's the Soldier Mirror. So this will be interesting to see how we match up against the Soldiers deck. Because they're going to have access to flyers, they're going to have access to Lord, and they're going to have access to pump effects. So let's go Peacekeeper here. We can see what they're planning on playing. Double my Rel. We can also name this Siege Veteran. Siege Veteran makes it bigger. Sky Strike Officer. It's probably Sky Strike, because I need to hit a land here to hit my Rel. And then Sky Strike can be used right away. Ideally, next turn I draw a land, and then I can play multiple spells. So. Ooh, that's also nice for the following turn. So we can let them have that, but then I don't get an attack in. That does let me set up for the following turn, but I think we just get Cathar going here. So generally speaking, when you play effects like this, you want to put it on another creature, because they're like, I'm naturally incentivized to want to get rid of Siege Veteran. So here, it's actually interesting because I can go Skrelv to have the protection up, which I think we do. Probably trade the Myrel here. See, the problem is now they're going to kind of bury me in card advantage. So do that. And with these being colorless, it's not great. Probably dead. And this is like where you can try to go to. They actually don't have a spell here, it's good. But they have the veteran. Post-combat's a little odd. But the problem is they've gotten so wide here. It's probably right naming Myrel then. There's no way for me to win through this. So we're finding some of the downside here. We're not able to go as wide as soldiers. And largely, like, Thalia hasn't been great in this type of meta. So I'm actually curious. I want to try something slightly different. I don't think Thalia is where we want to be. Lay down arms is good. So if we go wedding announcement. Could go second. What else do we have as human? So we can go couple farmhands also lets us find. And then probably like this seems reasonable. We can also do like soul partition. Like maybe a couple of these and a couple soul partition. Let's try that. Because what I'm finding is we're neither resilient enough nor aggressive enough. And in best of one, at least, like folks are, we got to be faster. The Thalia attacks there we've seen every single game. Like even against the blue-white control deck, it really didn't do too much. I don't think the tax of 1 really puts it off because we're just not aggressive enough. I'm going to keep this hand just largely because these are very powerful follow-up plays. If we can draw a 1 or 2 drop in our next few draws, it's also beneficial. What could also be reasonable is in the Soldiers deck, just playing the Coppercoat Vanguard. All your soldiers are also humans. So we'll see how this is. Okay, so against mono blue, this can be a tricky matchup. I think we try to get this going. Anything we played would have got countered. think we try to bait out here. Do think we need to try to get this going. That resolves, which is a good start. They could have Fading Hope, which we see, but does set them back a bit. Okay, Curate is fine. We do need a land to get through the Serpent. So, of note, they don't normally play Blast Zone in their decks. Things I was not planning on playing around. Blast Zone and Mono Blue. Oh, you're 7. Yeah, this deck's too slow. If you can't even get under Mono Blue. Also, like, they're not really playing... Like, Blast Zone in these decks is not something that they normally play. So it's a bit frustrating to lose to something like that when it's really not a card that sees play in that deck. For whatever reason, I thought it was 5 mana. At 7 mana, it's going to be too hard for us to kind of recover from that. So opponent goes first. I don't think we can keep this hand. It's also kind of annoying, just given the density of spells we have in our deck that are below 3 mana. Okay, it's a curve. I'd rather this get cut down. So this lets me dictate where the damage comes through. Having Wedding Announcement in this matchup will be good. Second Harvester. I think we continue putting some pressure. I understand this can die, but puts on some tax and lets me start drawing cards from these announcements, potentially. Also forces them to do it on their turn to potentially not allow me to flip and take 3 damage. They do go Shieldred, it's a little annoying. Okay, so they do that on their turn. They got a lot of blood. So we'll go Foundry here. See. I want Mishra's Foundry here. It gives me another attacker for next turn. So we have cut down. They do have access to crewing here. I can do this. I still don't get to draw. Or I have access to this to find a card. I think we just want to find a card. I'm a little worried with Sheoldred with all these bloods, just because they're going to gain a lot, but that does tap them out there, which is nice. So we'll activate here. Adeline. We have adversary as well. I think we just continue to thin out here. I want to draw the card. Understand that they can just eat one of these tokens. But try to set up for this next turn where we get the flip going, have a card. Okay, so they did have a braid. They can use Blood Tithe on Adeline. But with the Lord effect, we might even want to hold off another turn. We'll see what happens. Chandra minus is a little annoying, but it requires them to hit us for 5. So Chandra would die. So get rid of you. Bit annoying there, but that does tap them out for the turn. Hit him for 6 here. And again, now they have to hit the adversary. Maybe should have soul partitioned. Does force them there though. Let's see what we draw. Just try to get in damage now. They didn't discard, so that's kind of terrifying. Second Blood Tithe. Brutal Cathar is actually pretty solid here. So we know they're gonna crew. I think we just passed the turn, unfortunately. We've actually ground out pretty well in this matchup. Trespasser is going to be annoying. Starts gaining him life. We need another Brutal Cathar here. Intrepid. I mean, I just gotta go for it this turn, I think. At the very least, I can get a double block out of them potentially. They have to block both. And then I can follow it up with Wedding Announcement. The more they draw here, the better it is. Means they're digging. Got him! Alright. So largely after playing a couple versions of this, I think I just prefer soldiers, to be honest. We're just not getting enough value out of this card, but it's worth trying these things, always to kind of get a feel. In any case, thanks for watching. Hope you have a great one, and stay safe out there.